Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, go to page 90, 4.59. Today we are going to discuss the gender in detail. We have number 1, A and B. We have the personal, masculine and feminine. In this category, we have two uses. We are dealing with nouns in two ways. Number 1 and number 2. Number 1, we have the feminine and masculine. There is no relationship between the words. We say no overt marking, which means that we have one word for the masculine and another word for the feminine, which is different. Like what? Like father, mother. There is no relationship between these words. Like father is one word and mother is another word. This is always feminine. This is always masculine. Like king and queen. No. This is another one. This is number 2. Number 2, there is relationship between the masculine and feminine. There is a relationship between them. What kind of relationship? We say morphological relationship. Why? Because in morphology, there is a relationship between the two words. Like what? Like prince, princess. Like waiter, waitress. There is a relationship between the masculine and the feminine. When you go to this, the waitress, when you go to the princess, you know that this word is derived from another word, which is the masculine. يعني هاي مشتقينها من كلمة ثانية راح تعرف. أكو علاقة بيناتهم، أكو رابط بيناتهم. Okay, clear? Okay, we have one note. There are some terms we call them generic terms. These terms can contain the pairs of masculine and feminine. For example, like parent. Parent can be mother and father. So this is what? This is generic term. We call them generic dual terms because this will be dual. When I say dual, it means that it includes both masculine and feminine. Okay? And you know, we can use for these, all of them, as relative pronoun who, and the pronoun he, she, and they. Is this clear? Is clear? Okay. Let's go to the second type, which is the AB. Then we have C, personal dual. It means that this term includes both. Salam. دعاء فاضل. لواء شاكر. Come here. أفضل. and Malik. They want you downstairs, please. Yes. Okay, personal dual. This is a large class. Most of the nouns in English are personal dual, like the doctor, like the teacher, like many other nouns. If we say doctor, we mean female or male. When we say teacher, we mean female or male. Why? Because this kind of activity is done by two kinds of people, by the females and by the males. Okay, so in order to overcome this problem, in order to just remove this problem, what do we use? We use something called gender marker. Like what we say, female doctor or male doctor, or we say boy friend or girl friend, or we can say also man student, woman student. gender marker. شنو marker؟ يعني مؤشر أو مميز الجنس. يعني boy friend, girl friend. يعني we mark what kind of a friend is this. We mark what kind of student is this. Is he a male student, female student, the friend, boy or girl? So we have this term which is called gender marker. We have two notes here. So if we say teacher, we have to say male or female teacher, right? So there are some nouns. There are some nouns which are, or some professions which are normally occupied by females, and there are some professions, some jobs which are normally occupied by males, like the nurse. مثلا اكو اعمال ناس خاصين يعني يسووها. مثلا nurse الممرضة. عادة normally nurse is done by female, right? And engineer is done by male. So if we want to make the gender marker, it depends on the activity. We say male nurse, but we don't say female nurse. We only say nurse. If we want to mean that this is female, we only say nurse. We don't have to say female nurse. If we want to mark it as male, we say male nurse. Is it clear? Yes. The opposite is with engineers.
Female engineer.
Or engineer. The engineer or engineering is normally done by men, right? And if we want to mark that this is a different gender, we say woman انجب. Why? Because this is normally done by male people. Is this clear? So the gender marker here depends on the type of activity. If it is normally done by male people, we have to say female. If it is normally done by female people, we have to say male. The other point is that if we have like the teacher or the doctor, and if we speak, the teacher, or let's say the teacher has to come early. Dot. He or she, if I want to continue, if I am talking about teachers in general, that the teacher has to come early. He also, or he should also wear, for example, good dress. We know that the teacher, we don't know, is he a male or female? We don't know, right? Yes. So why we use he, not she? Should we use he or she? In this case, we use he. If we don't know the sex, we don't know that he's male or female, in generic we use he. إذا نحكي عنه بصورة عامة، المدرس هو نقول، ما نقول هي، مو المدرس بصورة عامة يعني، أو المعلم. The teacher is the one who does this. He is. Okay? So, but if this is generic, we have generic reference. We are referring to the teacher generically. But if we refer to a teacher specifically, a specific teacher, the use of the pronoun depends on the context. For example, the teacher has come. He or she brought our papers, for example. Why? Because we are talking about a female teacher. إذا فد شيء محدد الكونتكست يحدد لنا السياق. السياق عن من جاي يتحدث؟ أتحدث عن معلمة مدرسة أقول عنها شيء. أتحدث عن مدرس أقول عنه هي. يعني عادي حسب السياق مالتنا. لكن إذا أتحدث عن المدرس بصورة عامة سواء كان امرأة أم رجل, we have to say he about this. Is it clear? Oh. Depends on the activity. We go to D. Common gender. We have discussed this item earlier, common gender, it means that sometimes it takes which, it, and other times it takes who, she, he. Like the baby. Sometimes we say which, other times we say who, she, he, okay, and here we say it. This depends on one thing. It depends on the kinship. If you are a kinship to this baby, if you are related to this baby, for example, you are his brother, his sister, his father, his cousin, you don't normally say about the baby which, it, but you will say he or she and who. But if you are ignorant of this baby and you don't know this baby, you are not related to this baby, you will say in this case you will say it, which is not. Okay? Okay, this is all about the common. We go to E. The collective nouns. Collective nouns are the nouns which are dealt with in two ways. Either they are singular or plural. Like, for example, the family. We say my family is helpful, for example, and we can say also my family are helpful. Or we can say the committee, like the example, the committee has met. We can also say have met. Look, collective noun. committee معناتها اللجنة، يا إما عاملها مفرد يا إما عاملها شنو؟ جمع. The committee has met and they or it have or has rejected the proposal. So it is used in two ways. But if we say families, this is only plural. Because this is plural, then good families جمع بعد خلاص مو. So this kind of selection depends on what? Depends on the attitude. Depends on the attitude. Like if we are, for example, if we are referring to the community, if we want to stress on, if we want to focus on the members of the community or the members of the family, we say are, and we deal with them as members. If we want to stress on the community or the family as one unit, we say it. So it depends on the attitude of the speaker or the writer. And finally, in this we have 3 subclasses. 1. We have 3 subclasses of the collective nouns. The first one is specific. Like what? the family or army, etc. And the second one is generic, like what? The elite, the aristocracy, like the different classes of the society, like the rich people, the poor people, the bourgeois people, okay? And finally we have the unique. It means that this collective noun is unique for only, because it's only found once. Like the united, for example, like the UK or the USA. And many others. Is this clear? Any question do you have concerning this? No? Okay. We go to F and G, which is the higher animals feminine or masculine. We have the higher animals. Normally we use which and it for the higher animals, for all the animals, whether higher animals or lower animals. But the gender is normally observed by the people who are concerned with these animals. For example, the people who are keeping these animals as pets for them. Like if somebody is keeping a cat, he has a cat. Like, or he has, for example, a sparrow, or he has a horse. He will not definitely he will not say about the cat it. He will say she. Like, and if he has a horse, for example, if he has a dog, for example, he will say he or she depending on the sex. So it is observed by the people, by the concerning people. We say he or she about this. For example, the cow, we say she. The cat, we say she. Or for the cat, if we don't have, if there is no sex distinction, for example, the horse, no sex distinction. إذا ما عندنا sex distinction, and we don't know that this horse is male or female, what kind of pronoun do we use? No. And we want to use personal. Do we use he or she? He or she? Why not she? If we don't have the distinction, we use the pronoun he, just like the personal. When we say the doctor or the teacher, and we are talking in general about the doctor or the teacher, we say he, we don't say normally she. Right? The same case is used here. If there is no sex distinction, we use he instead of she. Let's go to GH. Higher organisms. Higher organisms means the nouns of the countries or the nouns of the clubs, sorry, national teams. We deal with the higher organisms in 3 cases. 1, 2, 3. The first one, we deal with them as geographical units. We deal them as geographical units. In this case, we deal with it as inanimate. Inanimate. I mean, we say which, it. For example, when we look at the maps or the map, we see that France is what? Sorry? Here. We see that France is one of the most European countries. We say it is one of the biggest countries of Europe. We say it. Number 2. Number 2. Yes? We deal with it as what? Political or economic parts. Units. In this case, we deal with them as personal, collective nouns. Like what we said about the collective, we say either it or we say, sorry, in this case, not personal collective, the third case personal selective, we use as feminine. Okay? We use as she, like France has or is proud of her team. We say her. Look. Feminine. All the countries we deal with them as feminine. And 3, in sports, team or teams. In this, we deal with them as collective nouns. So we say France, for example, won the car. We can say they, or we can say it played very well. We can say they or it. It is a collective noun. For number 2, not only the countries is used like this. We have some entities like ships, cars, or planes, airplanes. It depends on the attitude of the speaker. If he has the plane and he is so passionate about his plane, or he likes his car, there are many people who have some cars or some bikes, some ships, but I like my car. Some of them will say he or she. Sorry. For example, if I am talking about my car, I can say she is very good car. Because I like it. It depends on my attitude. Okay? Is this clear?
Yes.
Finally, we have the lower animals and the inanimates. J. We have the lower animals and inanimate. In this we deal them as which and it. For example, we say the box, we say it. If we say, for example, the frog, we say it. But sometimes, if we are really concerned about these things, if we are, for example, working in biological laboratory, we need to distinguish between the sex. We can use gender marker, like we can say male frog, she goat, he goat. Is this clear? Any question do you have?